I solemnly swear to tell the truth.
We had such an interesting race. It was fun. Loved calling it and had a fun time. And at the end, boy, did Kyle Busch come through with another great Kyle Busch interview. You know, I didn't articulate that well at the end of the race. What I meant to say was, I said I don't wish any bad luck on anybody. What I meant to say, I guess, was Kyle Busch is a national treasure.
Yeah.
And even though he finished bad, I guess what I want to say is, like,
don't change.
Yeah, that. So, okay, a friend of mine, after the race, we were I was on the plane and Brad had Wi-Fi, so I was texting with some buddies of mine. And one of them was so angry, he was just angry. I was like, man, that was entertaining. Kyle, that was entertaining with Kyle, and he's on Twitter. He's still rattling off tweets, and it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Right. And another friend of mine's like, the guy, I don't like him. I'm mad. He got no class. Da 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 da. And I'm like, wait. So in this moment, Kyle had a bad run. He ran in the back of the car and lap car, and he gets out and says all he says and puts on entertaining post race. I was like, for a guy that hates him, you should be enjoying this.
Yeah, right. Because right. If we're calling a spade, I mean,
right.
Yeah, this played well for you.
Yeah.
If you hate Kyle Busch,
God, even the Kyle Busch haters don't know when to enjoy themselves.
Right.
So it puzzles me. I learned to, appreciate. We don't have a lot of personality in the sport, right? Well, that's the wrong thing to say. There's some great personalities in the sport. There's a lot of guys though that don't quite show their personality, and there's not a lot of guys willing to. I guess.
Well, that's more it.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of personalities, some better than others, but there's very few people who are willing to put themselves out there with and not care about the repercussions that come. And Kyle is one.
And if you watch, and what we mean by that, if you watch Kyle's interview post race, he's trying to toe the line. He's trying to hang in there. He's trying to keep it on the blacktop.
And he's not going to be able to.
And that's what we all try to do. That's what all the other drivers try to do. But that interview got a little longer and a little longer. And finally, Kyle's just dropped the hammer. Yep. He's like, you know what? He's like, you know what? I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm going to say what I feel. And, we need so much more of that. Whether you like Kyle, whether you don't, whether you like any of these guys or don't like them, we got to get that honest opinion. I sent out a tweet earlier in the day about how I had a great time at Cosmopolitan Hotel, and my tweet was a little too vanilla, a little too, I don't know, it was a little too perfect. And
a little too advertising.
Yeah. And people were like, man, talk in your real voice. What's this crap? Right. And some people thought Cosmopolitan had made the tweet. Some people thought that because Michael Waltrip, coincidentally, no connection at all, puts out a very similar tweet.
About the same time.
He did.
The only difference is
what? Michael saw my tweet and went, you know what? I stayed there too, and I agree with this, so I'm going to do the same thing.
I saw him. I said, same picture, only Michael Waltrip's a few levels down. Like he's not as high up in the penthouse.
So, and it didn't dawn on anyone that maybe he saw my tweet and thought, yeah, I agree with this. I'm going to do the same. I had a great time.
So you're saying Cosmopolitan did not put you up to that?
No.
There you go.
And then, so a lot of people are like, ad. Come on, man. Quit putting this bullshit on us. And I'm like, it's not an ad. I really feel this way. I've been staying here a few times. Dale Jarrett actually hooked me up. And, but we enjoyed staying there. Coincidentally, this year we had Cosmopolitan on the car, but that's because Zane Smith has a connection with him that he brought. Yes, I can see where people could draw connect the dots. Anyway, so then I said in a tweet, man, it's the truth. To this one guy, he's like, man, it's a freaking ad. I was like, Hey, man, I actually like the Cromwell, too. It's a small boutique hotel in Vegas, and there's giant hotels everywhere. And it's kind of fun to go to some of the small boutique hotels. And the Cromwell is like right in the middle of the strip, but you'd never know it. And it's got a small casino. It's really clean. It's got themed rooms. It's a lot of fun. It's only about 4 stories. And I like staying there, too. You know, when I'm wanting that kind of experience.
But they didn't pay you this weekend, so therefore the Cosmopolitan got your I'm kidding.
Shut up, Mike. So, but anyways, that was sort of similar to Kyle's interview.
Okay.
Started out pretty basic, and then he went into honest mode. We need more of it. And
what would have been disappointing is if he hadn't done it, because when he got when he made that contact, and look, if you're watching that race and he got taken out the way he did, if you didn't think that was coming, if you didn't think
he got
that
taken out though,
you know what I mean.
Watch the race?
His race sort of ended that way. Don't you think? I mean, he wasn't going to. What's that?
He hurt his car.
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't going to win anymore.
I wouldn't have been disappointed if he hadn't have done what he did in his interview. I'd have been surprised. Because I expect Kyle to tell it like it is.
That's my point.
I wouldn't say he told it like it is. I think he just said his honest opinion, and that's what I want from Kyle.
Hey, he gave you guys way more than he gave the rest of the media because he went Marshawn Lynch on him in the.
You know, that was entertaining too.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I can see in my mind Kyle doing that, and then he went on social media and doubled down. You know, he wasn't backing down. And whether you like it or not, hey, it was entertaining. I was entertained. I don't look at it anymore as, well, this isn't exactly true, but I've gotten away from deciding whether I like or don't like something. As a broadcaster, and when you're in that position, you look at things whether it's entertaining or not.
Yeah,
I'm all for
the show.
Just show.
The entertainment value.
Yes. And when I would hear that as a driver, that I didn't like that. Because I'm like, man, I'm a purist. I'm a racer.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the race and the competition. And it ain't, and that's still important. But it's got to be entertaining. It better be freaking entertaining. It better be fun to see. And it better be funny or captivating, dramatic, whatever. And he added a nice little finishing touch to the day. So thank you, Kyle Busch. You're a national treasure. And I don't, even the haters won't admit it. They probably enjoyed it too.
I loved your face, by the way, when they came back from his soundbite.
I was sitting there thinking, should I? It was going to be obvious if I tried to hide that. And I don't know what the etiquette is as a broadcaster if you're not supposed to have emotions up there, but I didn't see any harm in laughing. I thought it was funny. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I think everybody else. Instead of seeing Kyle react that way and going, I hate that guy, he's classless. That makes me mad. Instead of doing that, laugh, man. It's funny. It's funny. When he did the thing he wrecked or somewhere at Bristol, he had something took him out of the race, and he did an interview, and we got that gif where he rolls his eyes and bobs his head and walks away because he doesn't like the question.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's great. No,
yes, and I've told Kyle that. I'm like, man, I know you don't like it in those moments, but man, is it gold for us?
Right,
everybody watching.
That's what I'm saying. I wanted, as soon as that contact happened, I was pulling for that at the end of the race. I wanted the Kyle Busch interview to deliver like I know he can, and he did.
Yeah, I'm not saying like Kyle Busch. If you don't want to like him, don't like him. I'm saying
appreciate him.
Don't waste your energy getting angry about, him in his moments like that. That's to be It's something we enjoyed, I guess.
And look, it goes back to the argument.
Sense?
It does. It makes sense. It goes back to the argument that we want these guys. We said it to Brad Keselowski. Just please don't change being you. Same thing for Bubba Wallace. Like I'll worry about these guys. That people are going to beat them down so much that they're just going to close up and just say, it ain't worth it. And they do, right? Yeah. I worried about that for you even.
Oh yeah. So in what typically I think happens with drivers is when they get fed up with the treatment that they get from either people on social media or whether they perceive it to be the media, they box themselves in, and they'll do that for a few months. They'll sort of have a chip on their shoulder or turn a cold shoulder to whatever it is they think that's antagonizing them or making their life tougher, and they'll cut it out. And they'll do that for a while. Now they come back, they open back up. But you don't want them to shut off.
Yeah, you don't want to make them regret sharing their true feelings, their opinions.
That's true.
In that situation.
Despite the obstacles I face, prosper shackles still in place. Tell the truth.